"29 races have come and gone in the 6th season of the Gratton Cup Series. Filled with intense battles, incredible finishes and incidents aplenty, it has been nothing short of a remarkable season. Only 2 drivers remain in the fight for the championship. Dawson Miller in the number 48 has been the king of consistency, racking up 3 wins, 10 top 5s and a series-leading 18 top 10s. But poor finishes in the last 2 weeks have left the door ajar for Henry Guo, who fell agonisingly short from winning the Daytona 500 in November, but is only 26 points away from claiming the championship and completing the greatest comeback in Cup Series history. It's all to play for in this final race at the almighty Homestead-Miami Speedway. It's the GRT Grand Finale, the 30th and final race of the 6th season of the Gratton Cup Series. Hello everyone and welcome to the final race of the 6th season of the Gratton Cup Series here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. It is the GRT Grand Finale, and at the end of this race here tonight, we will crown a champion here in the 6th season of the Gratton Cup Series. It's down to 2 drivers, as I said, Dawson Miller and Henry Guo. One of those 2 will be champion for the very first time. My name's Stuart Gratton. I've got the team owner of NS Racing, Nathan Stapleton, the team owner of Team Velocity, Matt Tuck, here in the booth. Welcome to one of the best tracks in NR2003, the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Back here at the 8th race of the season in December, we had one of the great races of the season, one of the best finishes of the season. Brandon Bent edging out Kelly Lee for the race victory. It was a remarkable finish. The side-by-side battle for the win. It's all about 2 drivers. We talked about it. I've talked about it a lot throughout the Open and everything. It's down to Miller and Guo. 25 points between those 2. I'll talk about the permutations here in a second. But gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here today. If you were the 2 drivers who are in different positions, Miller's got that 25-point buffer, Guo's the chaser. What's your mentality going into this race, knowing what you've got to do, and given these 2 drivers aren't starting in the best positions?
Like I said, both of these championship contenders are not starting that great. Step 1 is just getting their way up to the front, get to the bottom. 16th and 20th, 4 out of 2 championship contenders. 16th and 28th, 4 out for these 2 championship contenders, and they just gotta get to the bottom, get their way up to the front as quickly as possible. Obviously, one of them has to get up to the front sooner than the other. That would be the 48 of Dawson Miller. But gotta see what ends up happening, because like you said, earlier in the season in December, this was one of the best races of the season. And regardless of what happens in the championship, this could be another great race here tonight at the Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Yeah, I think it'll, we've seen this is definitely a very exciting racetrack over the years. And I don't think Dawson Miller's in danger, but he's got to be careful because he could throw. And Henry Guo's got the opportunity, but it is a long race in front of us and a lot to play for here.
Definitely, you're absolutely right. It is a long race. It's 84 laps. It is the longest Homestead race that's ever been run here on the channel. It's 125 miles instead of the normal 100 miles that you would have seen earlier in the season, and it's going to be a long one. It's going to be a 2-stop race. It's going to be interesting because this is one of the, I think it's the only track on the schedule which is a day to night. It starts off in I suppose the twilight, and it ends up becoming a night race by the end. So that adds another dimension to it. Let's quickly talk about the championship, because it is down to 2 drivers. You can see that on your screen. There's a few things that we need to talk about here. So Dawson Miller comes into this race 25 points ahead of Henry Guo. They are the only 2 drivers still alive. Alexander Rowe nearly pulled off the remarkable last week at Charlotte, last time out at Charlotte, but unfortunately fell just short. He's 49 back. He wants to go out with a bang and win a 6th race of the season. Dominic Anthony was the winner last time out, at Charlotte. He's 57 back. Eli Bright, 83 back. Benny Watson couldn't quite keep himself in mathematical contention. He had a tyre issue last week. He ended up a long way down the order, 89 back. And then it's close for the final spots in the top 10. Tristan Allen's up to 7th in points. Noah Clifton's down to 8th, 141, 142 back. Jared On, 149. Matthew Hubert, who is in contention for Rookie of the Year honours here, and he starts from 4th today. He'll be one to keep an eye on. He is 10th in the championship. Of course, the championship permutations are this. Henry Guo does not have the tiebreaker on Dawson Miller. So if Guo is going to surpass Dawson Miller, he must gain at least 26 points on Dawson Miller. And for Dawson Miller, the best he could do, or the absolute minimum for him to win the championship, he finished 21st or higher. If he finishes 21st or higher, no matter what Henry Guo does, he wins the championship. But if he can't do that, then that opens the door for the 71. If the 71 runs well enough, there should be a graphic on your screen talking about showing off all these potential scenarios as to how Guo can win the championship and how Miller could win the championship here today. But for Dawson Miller, 21st or higher, that's the end game. That's all he needs to do, and he's a champion for the first time. Henry Guo needs to hope that the 48 has another bad day. He's had 2 bad races in a row. He got caught up in an incident on pit road with Duncan Ward at North Wilkesboro, and then got involved in the big crash last time out at Charlotte. He's had his worst 2 finishes in the last 2 weeks. Not that Guo was able to capitalise last time out, it should be said, but it will be, it's a big opportunity still for Guo and of course for Miller to win this championship. A couple of other things that we want to quickly mention as well. We'll talk about these in the post. Matthew Hubert, as I said, is leading the Rookie of the Year standings. He is, he's second rather. He is only 1 point off Max Davis. Davis 1 point ahead. Hubert second, 1 point behind. Travis Crampton third in the Rookie of the Year standings, but he must win the race here today to get the full 20 points. If he can't win, then that's it for him. So realistically, it probably comes down to the 8 and the 6, and then team championship honours right now in favour of Gifford Technologies Incorporated. So that'll be something that we'll talk about more so in the post-race. But let's take a look at our starting lineup here for this GRT Grand Finale with thanks to Budget Car and Truck Rental for the final time. It is Christian Vargas. First career pole for Christian Vargas in the 36, who has had a pretty good back end of the season. And a PRM team that for the most part has struggled. He's actually been one of the highlights in the second half of the season. He will lead the field to green today alongside Alexander Rowe in the 51. Of course, I mentioned just fell short of keeping his championship aspirations alive. Jared Oren is alongside Matthew Hubert. Both drivers top 10 the points without a win. Hoping to change that here today. Ludovic Charette. What a great qualifying for Charette in the 23. Starting from the 5th position alongside Brain Perez, the winner a couple of races ago at North Wilkesboro. Alex Sanvitale and Kian Rowley. Rowley led the most laps here at Homestead earlier in the season. And then Logan Williams and Richard Fridge will round out the top 10. Roberto Crown in the 43 starts from 11th, good qualifying for them, alongside Rogal Dawn, who ran very well last time out. Same with these 2 drivers here. Tyler Jericho finished 4th last time out at Charlotte, and Jake Rogers led the most laps and finished 2nd in that race. Tyson Gifford, and here we go. Here is one of our 2 championship combatants, the 71 of Henry Guo, 16th, starting on the outside. Not an ideal position for him to be in, but he is 12 positions ahead of Dawson Miller, and that is the most important thing. He's got a bit more work to do if he is to win the championship. Behind them on row 9, Thomas Troxell and Noah Clifton rounding out the top 20. Benny Watson and Jack Haas in the 00. And then the 48 of Dawson Miller starts from the 28th position. One of his worst qualifiers. He had 2 bad qualifying results in back-to-back races. It's very unusual to see that. And he's got a lot of work to do. Our last winner, Dominic Anthony, also a long way back in the 39. He starts from 33rd. And, of course, Max Davis, the leader of the Rookie of the Year, 35th on the grid. So a lot of work for those guys to do. But we'll keep an eye open on all that today. You see the rest of the starting lineup left side of your screen. Nathan, then Matt. Who do you think wins the race? Who do you think wins the championship?
Well, we saw it last time here at Homestead in December. This was one of the most chaotic races of the season. And I think you could see that again. I'm going to go for a little bit of a surprise of Alex Sanvitale in that 7th position getting the win here tonight. And as far as the championship, I want to think that we could have a stolen championship here with Henry Guo, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm going to go with Dawson Miller winning here tonight for the Grand Cup Series title.
Well, I'm going to go completely out on a limb of picking here. I'm going to go for Duncan Ward to win the race. Seeing the kind of driving that he was putting on last week, I'm excited to see what he can do here tonight. Going to be driving with his hair on fire. And I think Henry Guo's going to steal it. I don't know. Something tells me there's some chaos in the works here tonight.
And we'll see how it goes for the 71. He has won this race before back in Season 2, so something to keep in mind here as well. He has had success here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. It's been a great season. Big thank you to everyone. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully we send it out with a bang. It's Christian Vargas on the pole for the first time in his career, with Alexander Rowe alongside, green flags in the air. We're underway in the finale of the Gratton Cup Series Season 6. Rounding turn 4 to complete the first lap, drag race to the line, and it will be the 99 of Jared Oren who leads the first lap here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Ludovic Charette, Alex Sanvitale, Logan Williams all in this inside lane along with Roberto Crown, and here comes Tyler Jericho. Jericho very good in the last couple of races, finished 4th last time out at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It was an impressive run. Tyson Gifford ran very well here earlier in the season. Keep an eye on the 7 as Ludovic Charette goes to the inside for the race lead underneath of Orange. Charette has been very strong in the second half of the season as well. And take a look back down the order. Should have a graphic on the top right of your screen that has our championship standings at the moment. Guo is on the inside trying to work his way forward. Dawson Miller is on the outside. So Guo crossed the line last time, was 19th. There is the 48. At the moment outside the top 30. So not good for the 48. He needs to make his way forward because the 71 certainly is. Top 2 have broken away as Charette out in front from the 99 of Oren, but Vargas is going to get clear for 3rd. Sanvitale in the middle. Logan Williams way on the inside.
Always seen some fantastic action here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Always loved this racetrack here. This is a little bit sketchy. Guo has to be aggressive, but I don't know if that's what he needs to do 4 wide in turn 3 and 4. And you gotta watch out off of these turns. Maybe a little bit of a homestead swipe from time to time. But this is what Guo has to do. He realizes that Dawson Miller with a bad start, and he's on a great start in the 71. But Ludovic is off to the best start out of anyone. The 99 of drawn on. It's been very close to getting that first win for the team here of NS Racing all year long, but it's not gotten the job done. But how about Vargas still sitting nice and calm in that 3rd place spot? Meanwhile, it's chaos outside the top 10, top 15.
Oh, that is not a good spot for Guo to be in, right in that middle as Rogers got to the inside. That was the middle of 4 wide. He gets clear of the 40, but now Rowe's going to get back to the inside. He also has won this race before. Last season, as a matter of fact, in season 5. So Guo now on that outside. You've got Rose working his way forward. And of course, keep an eye on these guys as Davis is actually ahead of Hugh, but that's interesting for Rookie of the Year on us. The 48 has got down to the inside. Last time across the line, he was in 30th place. And compared to Guo was, last time by outside the top 10, he was 11th. So it's a 19-point swing. It's not enough, of course. Miller would still win the championship if those were to stand. Granted, everyone's got clear. As we've had a change for the lead, you would have seen that. Oren has got around Charette. Here comes the 36. Here comes Gifford on the inside in the 7. As I said, he ran very well here earlier in the season. Not surprised to see him up front. What's been a terrible season for him. But hoping that his team can win the team's championship here tonight. And of course, his driver, Henry Guo, hoping to win the championship here tonight. You got Watson as well, the 96. Thomas Troxell was pretty strong last time out at Charlotte. And they're also on the inside as they're 3 wide for 2nd. Gifford on the inside, Vargas in the middle, Charette on the outside.
They're all over the place early. Gifford looking really good. Troxell's moving up through the field. A surprisingly strong run for him here in the season finale, in a season that didn't really go his way. Jake Rogers, I think early on in the season, I think you and me were talking, and we thought he was going to be a heavy hitter. Nothing just ever materialized for him. But keep an eye on that 71 of Henry Guo, because I see Henry Guo on my screen. I don't see Dawson Miller on my screen at the moment. So something to keep an eye on here, because Henry Guo is stepping up to the plate so far early in the going.
So Guo's now inside the top 10. He's made a few more positions since then. You see the 48 still on that inside, working his way forward. Just got around Roberto Crown. So that's, let's say, 26th, give or take. So he's trying to work his way forward in this race. But Guo's still in a very good position here at the moment. Not quite enough to win the championship, but he's closer to the front. Of course, it is a long race, 84 laps, so a lot can change as we go further along. But how about Vargas working his way back up to the front here in the 36? And you mentioned Rogers. He ran very well last week. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I felt like as the year went on, PRM really dropped away. Actually, outside of Vargas, Vargas got better as everyone else got worse, really, to say the least. But Rogers doing a good job. Dawn had a strong run last week. Kelly Lee, I think, was the biggest fall off, I think, out of the season, really. 76ers dropped down to 20th in points as Watson to the inside of the 36 and hope to get his 6th win of the season. But Rogers wants his first win. He gets 3 wide, and we'll keep an eye on the Pertex Chevy because Guo is on his way forward. He's going to crack the top 5, you'd imagine, right here. And he should be able to, not quite yet, but he's on the inside. He should be able to make his way past eventually. And Jared Oren's pretty happy with this. The 99 is checked out. He's a long way ahead. Still looking for that first win of the year. Would love to finish the year on a high note. Wants to finish the year with a win and a top 10 in the championship. But Guo on his way forward. Miller last time by 23rd. So 48's also working his way forward. He's being aggressive here. Bit of 4 wide. He's on the bottom. Trying to make his way around the 2 main combatants of the finish here early in the year. Kelly Lee finished 2nd. Brandon Bent, who won the race. So the 48 also on the move. But Guo now up to 3rd in this 71.
You know what? Regardless of what happens here tonight, give all the credit to that 71 team and Henry Guo. They brought a very fast race car here tonight. They knew what the point situation was. They needed to be up front and had to hope that the 48 had a bad car. The 48 is stuck in traffic, stuck in the middle, and I'm gonna be honest. I know, Matt, you said maybe he can steal the championship here tonight. He could. He might just get the race win at the end of it because he's up to 2nd and he's already closing in to the 99.
Yeah, they finally stopped battling quite hard for 2nd. They kind of fanned out a bit, and as a result, Guo now working his way forward. He's doing a good job and closing in. These guys are closing in, although Roger's going to try and get that run on the top side of the track. And might be able to clear down this backstretch. And he will. He gets in front of the 71. So nice bit of driving from Rogers, who's found form last week, or last time out, and obviously running well here at the moment. So Guo still in 3rd. And in comparison, there is the 48 Dawson Miller. He's about to crack the top 20. So 21st, of course, is the bar for Miller. If he gets 21st tonight, which is where he's running, he wins the championship, regardless of what Guo does. So it's a bit close at the moment, but he is in the position to win the championship at the moment. Currently in the 21st position on lap 17. Guo back to the inside. He's now going to maybe get shuffled to the middle. It's not a great position for him to be in. A little close there with Watson on the inside. But, Watson has backs out of it. Didn't get the run out of turn 4. Guo's going to get clear, you'd imagine, for 2nd. And maybe not for long because Watson looks pretty racy here. This 96 working his way on that inside. Wants his 6th win of the season. Didn't have a great race at Charlotte. Took him out of championship contention. But he's had a great season nonetheless. And here he is now going for 3rd as Guo has gotten clear. And if he can get a lap led, that I wouldn't say it goes all the way, but it certainly helps his cause. And here he goes for the lead. Oh, not quite. Oren shut the door on him. That was pretty close there. Watson going for 3rd.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Guo is so far early in the going. I mean, you can see Miller starting to find, his way into the top 20. But that's just not. Ooh, Logan Williams sliding up the hill big time into Duncan Jericho there. Those two not clearing the way for Miller. He's gonna get a little bit an easier run there, but here comes Henry Guo, and I think like we were saying in pre-race, and like Nathan was just saying, best way to give yourself a shot is just drive your way up to the front of the field, and if Dawson Miller crashes, you win the chip. If he finishes 10th, you can say you gave it everything you had, and he's given it everything he has here so far. Only 1 win on the season. He's been very consistent, and it's paid off, and he's been able to draw back that points gap that he had. Now it's just kind of, keep the car out front here and hope and pray somebody causes some trouble for Dawson Miller to fall into.
Yeah, Miller's on his way forward himself, though, up to 17th. Although he's got to be careful. Samadeo almost got to the inside. Miller arced it in. Cut down in front of it. Gets to the inside of our pole to Vargas. So quickly things could change here at Homestead. Vargas started on the pole. And Miller started 28th. And here they are side by side for position. As these guys, top four, have broken away. Watson to the inside of Rogers in the battle for the third position once again. These guys will be going at it now for a few laps. Watson's car pretty quick here in the early stages of this race. He's going to should be able to, not quite get clear maybe yet, but he should be able to get past, or maybe get clear now. We'll get that third position eventually. Then it's Crampton, who, is another one of these drivers hoping to win the race and give himself a chance at a championship, a Rookie of the Year championship. That 97, he must win the race, and bad things must fall upon the 6 and the 8. Well, there's Davis. He's ahead of Hubert at the moment. Don't know what the points are in terms of how they're running at the moment. Not going to bother with that. So we'll just focus on the championship battle as Oren back to the inside of Guo. So Guo's led some laps, but may lose the lead right here because the 99 to the inside. Guo's going to be able to cut down in front and hold him off, at least for the time being. But Miller up to the 15th position. And now Oren's, because he got held up a little bit, here comes the 96 of Watson to the inside.
And this is the tough thing about Homestead. That's two of my drivers in contact there, but the tires are falling off, and we've seen it go from crazy 3 and 4 wide racing for the most part to 2, maybe even single file. So now it's getting harder to pass. That's Crampton to the inside of Jake Rogers there. And don't know where Crampton came from. He might have a long run car here tonight. As White not too far behind either, but I'm really liking what we see here at the moment. And Henry Guo, all he has to do is win the race and then hope something happens to the 48. And he's doing all he can do. And I think for the 7-1 team, if you can just do this, if you win the race regardless of what happens to the 48, that is a win. So you gotta see what he can do, but we gotta see what Watson can do. He looks to be faster than the 99. Crampton looks to be faster than the 99. Henry Guo has some fastness racing cars behind him, and I know I'm going to my own horn here, but NS Racing is how good he is. So you gotta see what one of the championship contenders can do here. I think we might be getting close to pit stops here.
Yeah, pit stops are imminent. And, you've had a great year. You've won 10 races as a team. May win the team's championship. The way it's going at the moment, it's quite interesting because you've got 3 NS Racing cars up there. You've got 2 Gifford cars. Actually, you got 3 because Rowe's up there. So you'd imagine they'd still be in the position. Now, this is where it gets interesting because Miller is now on the outside, and that's not where he wants to be. That's where he can't be on the outside. He can't be losing ground with Guo leading the race as a runner and leading laps too. He's on that outside. Right now he's in 18th. Oh, and Samadio's had a problem. Oh, and there goes Sam Vitale and Jericho. And Samadeo gets hit by Haas. And the caution is out. Oh, and there's more. Steinbach, Koshma have run into it late. Josh Williamson, Kian Raleigh in the 10. And that is the first caution of the night. So not good for all those drivers involved. Lots of damage. And the first caution of the race here in the GRT Grand Finale. Henry Guo's the race leader. He won the race back to the line with Watson, Rogers, Crampton, and Oren, the top 5. But this is good for Miller because he didn't get involved. It was close. It was very close there. He almost got involved, but he keeps it clean. And now the field will bunch back together. But Guo will lead them down pit road. Normal fuel lap run is about 28 to 32 laps here. So not surprising. This is the window. So no change in terms of strategy here, you'd imagine, as Guo leads them on a pit road. So the 71. We'll see if he can. Well, they're all going to take 4 tyres given it's a 2-stop race. You would imagine. Kind of follow along with him, and also the 48's back in there. He's already in his pit stall. Going right side's going up. Can't afford to make a mistake on pit road if you're the 71 and the 48, and of course all these guys that are hoping to get themselves a win here in this finale. And a little slow, but he gets out ahead of Crampton. Oh, it's awkward because Riley's trying to get into his pit stall. He gets away with it. And he gets out easily ahead. So Guo will retain the lead. Crampton's second. Watson. Jake Rogers lost a bit of ground there in the end as Oren and Watson come out ahead of the 40. He drops it down to 5th. And in terms of the 48, looks like he had a decent enough stop. So he remains about just inside the top 20, let's say. But it's Henry Guo, the race leader. He needs basically to win the race, you'd imagine, to have a chance at the championship. He's certainly making a run at it right now. He is the race leader. Let's take a look what happened to trigger the yellow. So Nicholas Samadeo here in the 45. It's been a really tough year for him. He's going to have an engine issue right here down the front. And you can see he moves down there because that's probably where he lets go. And he's going to slow right down there. And he's unfortunately in an awkward spot because he's got Davis on the inside. He's got Ward on the outside. So he can't get down. Can't really get out of the way. And unfortunately, Alex Sanvitale is the one that runs right into him right there. And Tyler Jericho also nowhere to go in the 63. And they go, this is 37, up into the outside wall. Sanvitale is another one that's had a really tough year in this 37, unfortunately. As Samadeo is trying to get this car under control, he gets run into by Jack Haas, who's just trying to get out of the way. And nowhere for him to go. And then right here, Leonard Koshma runs straight into Alex Sanvitale. Josh Williamson has nowhere to go. 37 gets a lot of air. Luckily, does not roll over. Anderson Steinbach's going to run into this Kian Rally as well. And right there, you can see the damage on both the 98 and the 10. So a pretty big accident in the grand scheme of things. They're ironically similar kind of time as well to what happened in the Wawa 400 earlier in the year when John Andrews got taken out by Ethan Lewis. This one, a much more serious incident. A lot of cars out of the race.
Alright, well, tough break for Nicholas Samadeo. We saw it live. I saw it live. He was wriggling back and forth. I knew something went wrong, and the engine had nowhere to go. For Sanvitale, my pick, that Staple Jamestown, and there's several cars involved. A mini big one at Homestead-Miami Speedway, and a very tough break for all these drivers involved. Some had better years than others this season, and fortunately for a handful of those drivers to end the season early at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of damaged race cars in that one, and that anyone that may be able to continue, like Jericho, for example, will be off the pace, and that may have an impact on this one. But anyways, Henry Guo's doing what he needs to do in this 71. He's out in front, leading the race. Let's take you back to the restart. Lights around the pace car. First restart of the night at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. It's Henry Guo, the race leader. And it's number 71, ahead of Travis Crampton, Benny Watson, Jared Oren, and Jake Rogers. That's the top 5. Ludovic Charette, Caleb Rose, Tyson Gifford, Eli Bright, and Brayden Perez back in there, round out the top 10. Dawson Miller, as it currently stands, he would be the champion. 15th at the moment. He's doing more than enough. He needs to, of course, finish 21st or higher in this race. But with Guo leading, if he can make his way forward, obviously that makes his life a bit more easier, and he may need the 71. 71 drops back, then that'll also make his life easier. But the 71 has done what he's needed to do. He started 16th, made his way down to the inside, took the race lead, and has been able to hold it ever since he took it off Jared Oren. There's still plenty of the race left to go, over 50 laps to go. And a long way to go to determine this champion. A few cars out of the race as a result, as you imagine, given the impacts. And we'll run you through those when we get back to racing. So Henry Guo, he's doing what he's needed to do. He's doing what he needs to do, rather. Leading this race. He's got 3 NS Racing Fords behind him, and Jake Rogers as well, the number 40, hungry for a win to end the season. Green flag back underway here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. You see those drivers out of the race. Anderson Steinbach, Josh Williamson, Leonard Koshma, Nicholas Samadeo with that engine problem. Because of the accident, of course, Alex Sanvitale and Kian Rally. So 6 drivers out of this GRT Grand Finale. As Crampton has looked pretty racy. He's looking to bookend the season. He won the Daytona 500. He's looking to finish the year with a race win here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. He's on the inside here of Guo. And this battle for the lead, it'll be Guo at the line. You've got Watson right behind the 71 trying to push him past. But the inside lane here for Crampton. And here comes Oren, who's led a lot of laps, of course, as well here in this race. Dawson Miller is on the inside back in there in the 48, so he's doing what he needs to do. as Crampton gets clear of the 71, so that's going to help Miller's case. And Oren on the inside here as well, going for second.
And you know, if these spotters up front right now, like the 3 racing cars, like Dawson Miller, like Will Short, like Tyson Gifford on the move, you gotta maintain with the track conditions here tonight. It's gonna go from day to night, and always seeing the lights on track now. So you gotta maintain the condition of the car. And that might end up being, that's not the full wide here inside the top 5.
Got away with it. They were pretty racy. They've been trying to go 4 wide on multiple occasions. They got away with it so far. So that's good to see. But I'm sure you're happy with this. You've got, Nathan, you've got 3 cars, 1, 2, and 3 currently, as Crampton's checked out. Oren is second, and Watson now up to third. But then you got the 2 Gifford cars right behind. You've got Tyson himself running in this 4, going for third now underneath of Watson. You've got Guo still up in this top 5, but he's just stuck on that outside, as Miller now stuck in a 4 wide. Or was stuck in a 4 wide situation. And of course, Duncan Ward right there as well. The driver, of course, who kind of helped this Guo resurgence and the Miller downfall a little bit in that get that collision on pit road at North Wilkesboro. It cost the 48 what was a top 10 run at that time, and now he's stuck on the outside. But so is Guo. Guo's going to get down to the inside. He may have a chance here to get to the inside, but Ludovic Charette looking now to the inside herself. And so this 23 is going to get in the way as well. So not good for the 71, although 23 washes up. Now Dawn's going to go 3 wide to the inside. So it's all happening here for the 71. Not in a good position, but Miller also still stuck on that outside. So they're both kind of joined at the hip in that regard, as Perez wants a second win before this season said done. Won a couple of races ago at North Wilkesboro. And he's going to get to the inside of Watson, get to 4th. But Duncan Ward, he'll pick to win. Is on the way forward here in this 54. He is 3 wide on the inside of Rogers and Guo. Got to be careful again. Almost a bit of 4 wide again. But they keep it all together. Top 2 have checked out though. It's Crampton from Oren for NS Racing.
I mean, this is... Gotta give Nathan some credit here. I feel like every time we come to one of these races, it's somebody in an NS Racing car, and I mean, Benny Watson's only 2 cars away from making this an NS Racing 1, 2, 3. So it's impressive what this team has been able to do, despite not having a driver contending for the championship tonight. And I mean, talk about championship. Henry Guo before the caution was looking like this was going to be his potentially night, and now it's just looking like an average night, and it's going to be Dawson Miller's party. 71 just falling backwards right now as the 2 leaders, Oren and Crampton, going at it. Oren finally trying to book his trip to victory lane here this season in the last race of the year.
And he gets the pass. He makes that one nice and easy in the end. You see the big gap as these guys have been battling really hard down the order. How much all these drives have really fanned out. Of course, still stuck on that outside. He just cannot get down to the bottom at the moment. And the man who led so much of the early portion of this race now dropping way down the order. And this is not going to be good for his championship aspirations. Especially now that Miller's got to the inside of Davis. And he's going to maybe get to the inside of the 71 as well. And so, of course, Miller in position to win this championship. These guys at the moment, just at inside the top 20, they're just in around the top 15. Guo's going to get the run of the high side, and he wants to stay ahead of Miller, and he is going to. And that's the first time he's actually going to be able to get down to the bottom. So we've got a battle for the lead once again. You've got Crampton back down to the inside, and he's going to try and make this one stick. And you've got Perez, Gifford up here, Watson still. Charette's not that far out of it, the 23. So the more these guys battle, the more those 4 drivers behind close in. And you see how close Perez now is in this 92. And he's had an impressive couple of races. He's on the inside now of Oren, going for second. So 92 looking strong here coming into next season. Pacific Racing, one of those teams that you'd have to keep an eye on. In fact, he might go for the lead here because he looks pretty racy. We're over halfway through this GRT Grand Finale. It is Travis Crampton leading this race, but Brad Perez now up to second and going for the lead now to the inside of the 97. And Brad Perez is going to probably make this one look stick. Going to make this one look pretty easy in the end. And does he lead at the line? I don't think he did. We'll find that out. Actually did. There you go. He did lead at the line. But here comes Oren now, 3 wide
boy.
to the inside, and now Perez in a NS Racing sandwich. Oh,
This is starting to look like the first Homestead race back in December stood. Fantastic racing there. For the race lead between the 99, 97, 92 on in the 90s, and then you got the 96 right behind him. So it's a 90 number first 4 here. Can't count Tasha Gibbon and cannot count with Dover Short and number 23. And it's kind of like what I was saying earlier. This nighttime transition is taking into effect, and I think Perez, Gifford, Chouette, even Jay Rogers, he might be better in the nighttime scenario, but same can be said for Crampton. He's been getting better and better all race long, and these two NS racing cars are putting on a show up front here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Dover making it 3 wide in the back, but this is going to open up 4 plus and maybe make it 3 wide for the race lead.
Not quite close enough to make it 3 wide yet, but he might have a run. He looked like he might be able to make a move. Not quite close enough. Crampton gets down in front, and Perez is going to follow through to get to second. Guo's back on the inside. Oh, he was. He's now in the middle. It's not ideal for him. And right now he is still outside the top 10, so he's not making anywhere near enough ground at the moment. Dawson Miller, the 48, is on that outside himself. Now Davis on the inside in the 6. Of course, Rookie of the Year permutations in front. You've got Hubert and Davis and all these guys right up and around. And of course, Crampton leading the race. So lots of Rookie of the Year stuff going on as well. But Guo's still stuck in the middle. You've got Williams on the inside. Now here comes Kelly Lee in the 76 on the inside. We haven't seen much of Anthony in this race. That 39 car, he's trying to make his way forward. But, geez, I tell you what, the 71 stuck on that outside yet again. Not for the first time here tonight. Back up towards the front of the field as Perez now to the inside of the 97 at Crampton. So it continues here at the front of the field on lap 49. Coming to 35 to go this time here. Not just in the race, but of course in the season. And Crampton is going to be able to hold on that outside. And hello to Jake Rogers. As a result of all the battling, he's close back here. Davenport not that far back either. So we may get more players here in this one as Oren now back to the inside of Perez.
Yeah, Oren back to the inside. Closing around 30 to go. We'll have another round of pits. I mean, this has just been a lot of fun up here at the front of this field for the final time this season. I don't have the points from me, but I do know there are. Actually, I do have the points in front of me. This would be a huge for NS Racing. They still have the Owners' Championship up for grabs, and with 3 cars up here in the top 10, I mean, that is very, very doable for them here as we run. And Travis Crampton does still have the Rookie of the Year title up for grabs with Max Davis and Matthew Hubert. He's currently putting a beat down on, so lots of positions still up for grabs in other championships, even though I think the drivers is looking for the moment pretty well in Dawson Miller's hands, but a lot of time for things to change here.
Yep, definitely. You got Oren back to the inside Perez. Of course, in terms of Rookie of the Year for Crampton, he must win the race. If he finishes second, it's game over for him. So he's doing what he needs to do to win that at the moment. Guo has got to the inside. He is 14th. Not that it matters, because Dawson Miller is 19th. So even if Guo were to win the race from here, if Miller finishes 19th, Miller wins the championship. So 71's got to get a bit of a wriggle on to have any kind of chance here at the moment. But Crampton's now started to break away from these guys. This run's gone along, of course, less of the kind of chaotic racing. They've settled into that rhythm. Perez back to the inside, though, of Oren. And, hello, Rogers looking very racy. Davenport has closed in on these guys as well. He wants a second win of the season. His first ever top 10 came in the finale in Season 5. So he has run well here in the past. It would be surprising if he were to get up there and maybe contend for the win, as Rogers powers his way on the inside as Perez walked up the track just a little bit. Is he going to be able to continue to stay on the inside? Not yet. Perez was able to get down in front. Got Watson there as well, the 96. It's all going on, but the more this battle continues, the more it helps Travis Crampton, that 97. He's looking pretty good, but we are catching lap cars. Jack Haas, who was involved in that incident, he's off the pace, and there's a bit of a gap to the next one in Tyler Jericho. These guys both involved in the incident, as Rogers now 3 wide for second.
You know what? Rogers might be a threat here And as it's getting into nighttime, Rogers is getting better and better in that Floyd machine. And I have to see if he can steal one here tonight. Crampton looks very fast, though. He's clearly the fastest in this racing car. I thought the 99 was faster early on, but Crampton is pulling away, and he's trying to get his third win on the season. Was won the 500 to start the year. Been a little bit inconsistent as a rookie, though, but just trying to get win number 3, trying to bookend the season. But Brian Perez, he's trying to get a second win late in the year. So I think Brian Perez and Pacific Racing, if those two pair up again next year, that's gonna be interesting. Well, next season, not really next year, but it's definitely gonna be interesting of how next season goes. But it's interesting of how this race goes, because we still have one more pit stop. Things are calming down here as the tires are falling off, and we gotta see who ends up doing the undercut, who does the overcut, because that's gonna be crucial for the win, for the rookie of the year, and for the team standings, and maybe even the driver standings. But it's looking good for Dawson Miller to clinch it as of now.
Miller's dropped back to 24th, but because obviously the way Guo's running at the moment, it doesn't particularly matter. So, see, it's everyone. He's trying. He's certainly trying. He's now on the inside. In fact, he's in the middle. He's got his teammate on the inside there, Dominic Anthony. So now all 4 Gifford cars inside the top 15. That would probably lock up the team's championship if that was to be the case. But Anthony's on his way forward. Guo's following. And we are approaching Jack Haas in the 00. And they're going to get to the inside right there. There goes the 92 of Perez. You've got Oren not that far back. Rogers looked racy. And how about Rowe? Rowe's gotten up there as well. There might have been something that's happened, because all of a sudden Rowe's right in the game here as well. And here we go. Looks like they're going to pit now. Someone looks like they will. Yep, Jared Oren. Jared Oren's the first one in. Same with Rogers. Rowe and Anthony. Important stops for those guys. Miller is staying out. And I think the 71 is as well. So we'll see where they come out relative to our leaders. You'd imagine it'd be 4 tyres, given that will be the last stop of the season. They'll be able to go the distance from here. Jericho also in. He's, of course, a lap down. Here come our leaders. And see Tyson Gifford staying out. He's going to run it long. Same with Guo. Guo's rolling with the overcut. So everyone trying to get something to go his way. I saw Haas there got in the way of Davenport a little bit. That didn't really help his case. See quite a few of these drivers staying out. Dawn's another one. Troxel, Brandon Bent, who won here early in the year. You see, good stop for Oren. He gets out well ahead. Rogers again had a bad stop. And he loses more ground. And you see these guys all on pit road taking tyres and everything, as you would. Oh, be careful. Imagine that the 771, they're all in. And there's Miller. Oh, little slow, but he should still be okay. He's going to come out racing here with Colin Denton, the 21. Oh, Watson maybe had a bad stop.
Oh,
he's right behind the 48, so that's not a good stop for him. But Crampton gets out ahead of Braden Perez. Now let's see where he comes out relative to Oren. Oren was the first driver off pit road. There's the 99. He's up to speed. And it's going to be an interesting battle here with the... he's going to get around the 92 pretty easily at the end. So Crampton will hold the lead, but Oren now second, Perez third, Davenport, and then Rowe. Dominic Anthony's right in the game here as well. He's made his way forward. He wants to finish the year with back-to-back wins. Crampton with a great stop. He's a long way ahead. There's the 71. He is behind Rogel Dawn, and you can see all the cars going past. So it's not doing him any favours. Gifford comes out behind Perez, so Crampton well out ahead here in the 97.
I mean, this is a huge lead for him, and NS Racing with a 1-2 here in the season finale. Very comfortable lead for them right now. See if Rowe can, find some pace. Guo's still ahead of Miller, but nowhere near enough he needs to have a shot at the championship. You can see just a couple cars behind here. But yeah, I mean, this is a great run for Crampton to close out the season. And 2 wins already on the season to add to the absolute monstrous total that NS Racing has racked up this year. That's 10 wins. They have 10 wins. Gerard Oren hasn't even gone to victory lane for the season, so 11 wins would be an unbelievable achievement for a team in a single season. That's a third of the calendar. and they are just 20 laps away from stamping their name on a very historic season, even without a driver's chair. Braden Perez, though, he keeps lurking. He keeps lurking here in this Toyota, and don't count him out of this just yet.
He's looking very racy, isn't he? He's right in the game here for this win. It's a matter of how much ground they can gain on Crampton, but Crampton out in front. It's kind of sticking around that 1.2 second gap, so not much changing there. Then you got Davenport in 4th, Rowe up to 5th, Gifford and Anthony. So really, the 3 of the 4 Gifford cars inside the top 10. The only one that actually needs to be up there is well, a bit further down the order. There's Guo. He is 14th. And he'll be annoyed about because he was leading the race and was looking pretty good there for a while, but hasn't played out the way he would have wanted. He's about 10 positions ahead of Miller. He's 23rd at the moment, but with the way that the 71's running at the moment, it doesn't particularly matter because Miller will still win the championship pretty handily as it currently stands, especially now that Guo's now back on that outside, so not doing himself any favours. Got a few battles up here. Rowe on the inside of Davenport. You've got Anthony on the inside of Gifford, and the top 3 are all closing in on each other for a race win. Now, of course, if this was the 400, this would be the final lap. But we've got an extra 17 laps to go, so it's still a lot of racing left here at Homestead-Miami, and you never know, there might be another caution before this thing is said and done, although they've kept it nice and clean here for the most part. But Oren looks racy. Perez with him. To get the feeling it might be a 3-car scrap here for this race victory. As Crampton takes the lead, so, holding on the lead, 17 to go. Oren 2nd, Perez in 3rd, and then there's a 3-second gap between 1st and 4th at the moment as Rowe has got around Davenport.
And looks like we got a whole separate battle here with 4th all the way back to at least 10th, maybe 11th or 12th from the Dover back there. But really fun race here tonight at Homestead-Miami as always, and of course the driver's title now up on the line here. But I'm torn as an owner here. Of course, Crampton's trying to get win number 3, trying to start and end the year with a win, and win Rookie of the Year possibly with this race win. But I honestly would love this 99 to get the race win. He's the only one from NS Racing that's not won this season, but he's been so consistent. So I would like him to get the race win. I would like the 1-2, but we cannot count Brian Perez here. He's number 92. He's been fast all night long. Keeps on getting better and better as the night time keeps on falling. And let's see what ends up happening. It's going to be the 92, the 97, and the 99. All colors in the 90s there with the numbers battling for the race win with 14 laps to go.
And of course, if Oren can get himself a race win, he's going to get himself into the New Smyrna Showdown in a few weeks, a non-points event for drivers who win races are locked in. Everyone, otherwise, you have to go through the heat. He wants a race win. He wants a race win, not just for that, but obviously to finish the year on a high note. Here he goes to the inside of his teammate Crampton, and Perez right there as well. Side by side, Crampton's got the inside. Crampton's got the outside. Oren's got the inside. Crampton gets the run on the top. Hold the lead. 13 to go here in the season. A 3-car battle for the win as it currently stands, although you never know if these guys battle hard enough. Those guys behind might be able to close in. Anthony up to 5th. He's had a great drive from 33rd on the grid. Should be said. As now, here comes Perez. 3 wide to the inside for the lead. He wants his 2nd win of the season. He gets to the inside of Oren. Oren's going to lead at the line. But Brain Perez might be the one leading next time around as we've got 12 laps to go. Crampton trying to help his teammate on the outside and maybe disturb the 92 a little bit on the bottom. Or maybe shoot the gap 3 wide for himself. And Oren shuts that door. Oren's going to get himself clear. And Jared Oren back out in front here at Homestead. Coming to 11 to go this time this season. It's Oren from Crampton who's now clear of Perez. This race is going to get to a very interesting stage. It's going to be a very interesting finish. Anthony going for 4th underneath of his teammate Rowe. What a drive he's had in this race. I talked about that a fair bit. As Davenport, Rogers back in here, all battling for positions inside the 10. Tristan Allen. Ludovic Shredder's just getting around Duncan Ward. That's for 10th. And Guo at the moment is in, I want to say, 13th. So got around Max Davis. Rookie of the year, by the way. Davis currently holding it, but A long way to go in that battle as well. For the lead, cramped it back to the inside of Oren.
Yeah, it's a great run from Crampton here, trying to steal that Rookie of the Year, and Braden Perez trying to spoil one last NS Racing 1-2 here on the season. And what a run this has been. And I mean, hey, maybe an audition for him or something. I don't know. Great run here for Perez to end the year. He gets by Oron. He's gonna get to the inside of Crampton. Nothing doing yet. What a great battle these three are having up here. And we are inside of 10 laps to go on a season that has been filled with some incredible moments. And we are less than 10 laps away from a Dawson Miller championship. But we don't know who's going to win this race here, as Oren's going back to the inside. He wants to get his first win on the season.
He's on the inside here of the 92. And just keep in mind as well, those lap cars up in the way. Tyler Jericho, who has damage. Eric Monaco's just off the pace, unfortunately. They may come into play as well. You mentioned all those incredible moments. So I think we've had at least 3 finishes side by side at the line. Photo finishes. We might get a 4th, the way these guys are going. But it's going to be hard to beat Crampton. He looks really, really fast. He's been able to keep that car out in front. I reckon he's led the most laps here tonight. And he is now 7 laps away from his 3rd win of the season. What has been an impressive rookie showing for him, even if he's had some inconsistency. There is Guo. You got to give him credit. After Watkins Glen, he was 70 points back in this championship race. He somehow whittled it down to 25. Coming into this race, he led for so much of the early portions. Oh, and Brandon Benton's had an engine let go. And that is the end of his. That is the end of his season. He gets onto pit road, which is good. He won here earlier in the season. It's not going to be the same kind of result, unfortunately. In what could be his last race? What could be DW Motorsports' last race? You never know. But anyways, point is with Guo is that he's had a great season. He came back from 70 down with 5 races left, and he's made it a battle. But it's not probably going to work out in his favour here tonight. 5 laps to go in the season. Crampton leads, Perez is second, Oren third. It's going to come down to these 3. The guys behind are battling too hard for 4th. Anthony's up to 4th. What a drive he's had, seriously. Gifford inside the top 5. Rogers, Davenport, and Rowe, and Allen, and then Charette in 10th. And look at this 92. He's all over the back. Crampton, he's going to go to the inside for the lead, and he's just going to power his way past and take it away with ease. And he takes the lead with 4 laps to go here at Homestead.
4 laps to go. That's incredible.
That was an insane power move from Brian Perez. And as much as I'm wanting, obviously, one of my cars to win it, Brian Perez has been the guy challenging Crampton and on all night long. And you know what, Sue? You said that you think you got 3 full finishes already this year. We might have to get the full finish cameras again between Perez, Crampton, and a 1.
We've got Jericho coming up as well. That's 63, the lap car. And we've got 3 laps to go. Guo is still in 13th. Miller is 21st. That's the position he needs to be in. But he should have it in the bag, barring something crazy happening in these last couple of laps. But Crampton coming back at Perez will focus on the win. Perez with a good run on the outside in 3 and 4. He's got 2 laps to get his 2nd win in the past 3 races, and keep an eye on him for next year. We keep an eye really on all 3 of these guys next year. Wherever they end up, they're going to be very, very fast, you would imagine. What a drive for Perez. He won at North Wilkesboro a couple of races ago. And tonight, he has really not put a foot wrong. He gets around Tyler Jericho. They're battling now for 2nd. Oren to the inside of Crampton. Here we go. White flag. 1 lap to go in the 6th season of the series. Dawson Miller on his way to the championship. The winningest driver in series history is about to claim his title. But Braden Perez is going to claim his 2nd win of the season, his 2nd win in the last 3 weeks. What a drive by the 92. What a stretch for Pacific Racing. They won at Watkins Glen with Caleb Rose. Perez won at North Wilkesboro, and he's going to do it again here tonight. Out of turn 4, Braden Perez wins the GRT Grand Finale. And we look as Guo will finish up in about 13th. Dawson Miller in the number 48 is finally going to be a champion. Dawson Miller is the Gratton Cup Series Season 6 champion. He comes home tonight inside the 19th position. That is more than enough. Dawson Miller is officially a Gratton Cup Series champion. The winningest driver in series history is finally a champion of the series. You got to give credit to Henry Guo. That's 71. He gave it everything he could. He ended up 11th here tonight. It wasn't the way he wanted to end his season, obviously. He had led some laps earlier on, and who knows what would have happened if maybe this race had stayed green. But Braden Perez, the race winner. Dawson Miller, the champion. How about that, number 48, the champion of the Gratton Cup Series. Wow, what a race here at Homestead. You see the final results on your screen. Perez, the winner. Oren, second by about half a second. Crampton ended up in third ahead of Anthony. Tyson Gifford with the top 5 finish. Nicely done there. Rowan 6th. Rogers 7th. Davenport, Allen, and Ludovic Charette inside the top 10. We go over to the second page of results. Henry Guo finished up in 11th. He gave it everything. He really did. He really gave it everything he could. It wasn't to be for him tonight. He comes home in that 11th position ahead of Kelly Lee. Duncan Ward. Max Davis wins the Rookie of the Year championship by, I reckon, let's say 3 points. Let's just say give or take 3 points. Davis, the Rookie of the Year, as he finishes a couple of positions ahead of Hubert in this one. Thomas Troxel splits them. Williams, Bright. Dawson Miller, our champion, in 19th. He didn't have a great night, really, but he did enough to win the championship. And Vargas, our pole sitter, in 20th. You see the rest of the results. What a race here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. What a win for Braden Perez, gentlemen.
What a race. That was a very fun one here at Homestead once again. And I thought we were going to have a full finish once again at Homestead for the second time this season, but not quite. Braden Perez with a great stretch towards the end of the season. And he's going to be a driver to watch out for during the off-season for sure. Great job from Dawson Miller, though. He wasn't great tonight. Got 19th. Did what he needed to do to guarantee it. Credit to Henry Guo, though. He gave all he could. If it stayed green like he says to it, and we didn't have that caution, maybe he could have challenged for the championship. But that's not what ended up happening here tonight. And it ended up being Dawson Miller with the race win. Great one from VNS Racing Colors once again. Gotta shout out to all 4 of them real quick. Fantastic year, 10 wins in 30 races. That's incredible. Hopefully they all return on that season. We gotta wait and see. But great job from everyone here, and a great season to it. Very fun here in the Gratton Cup Series for season number 6. Had a very fun one here tonight with a lot of lead changes, a lot of battles, and Homestead. What else can I say? It always delivers here on another, and it delivered once again for the GRT grand finale.
Yeah, I mean, another great race here. Obviously, cool to see Dawson Miller get the championship here. I think he had a great season, and if not for Duncan Ward antics a couple weeks ago, he would have walked away with it. So, it went down to the wire. Henry Guo definitely first half of the race had him on the back foot, and it would have been a very interesting, seeing he finished 19th. He had a mid-pack car tonight, and it was there to throw, but he didn't throw. That's what matters, because he's going to come home with the championship. Fantastic effort for Braden Perez. You got a feel for Gerard Oren. 10 wins on the season for his teammates, and no wins for him to show for. But he did put in a fantastic effort week in and week out. And, he's going to come home higher in points, I believe, than his teammate Travis Crampton. So I think that's something to, take a shot at for. But just overall great season. Really cool to be a part of this here this season, and excited for what it holds next year.
Definitely. Very, very excited for what will hopefully be an even better year in Season 7 coming up in a few months. We're very much looking forward to that with the new ratings and everything that will go with it. And we'll see how that one all plays out. In terms of the drivers' standings, the championship standings, it's Dawson Miller, 16 points, as kind of as we already knew, he's the champion of the sixth season of the Gratton Cup Series. Guo gave it everything that he possibly could have, just didn't quite have the speed at the end of that one. But it's not like Miller went particularly well, but Miller did enough anyway. He finished 19th, so he locks up the championship, regardless of what the 71 did. Well done to those two on. It's been a great season. Alexander Rowe, he comes home in third in the championship, ahead of his teammate Dominic Anthony. Eli Bryan ended up fifth. He ended up the highest of the NS racing cars, ahead of his teammate Benny Watson, who actually dropped down the order in this race tonight. He really dropped away. Tristan Allen ended up 7th in the points, ahead of Jared Oren, who climbs up a spot. Noah Clifton down to 9th. Matthew Hubert in 10th. So the rest of your standings right there. Charlie Davenport had a pretty good year, ended up in 11th. And Max Davis. We can confirm that Max Davis is the Rookie of the Year. We'll show those points in a second. Brandon Bent, 13th. And it's a disappointing night for him, of course. Rogers, Dawn, Crampton had a good year with a couple of wins. Kelly Lee dropped away, but had a good result here to finish the year. And then Steinbach Fridge. Braden Perez ended up 21st in the championship with his 2 wins in the last 3 races. We wonder why a lot of these guys, and as we see the rest of the standings, as you see, 49 drivers this year, and I think quite a few of them with the new ratings formula that's coming in for next season. If they do return, obviously some of them will be owner drivers at best, so they won't be able to run the full schedule. But for those that can run the full schedule and do return, they may have significantly better seasons, they may have significantly worse seasons. We just don't know. It's a high quality field and a high quality group of 49 drivers, as you see. The rest of the standings, John Andrews, the last car in the field, the last driver in this field, 49th in the championship. The Rookie of the Year belongs to Max Davis. He gets home 3 points ahead of Matthew Hubert. He ended up 2 positions ahead of Hubert here tonight with Troxel in between. And, well, if he dropped behind Hubert would have won the championship, the Rookie of the Year championship. But it's not to be for Hubert. Max Davis, Seminole Motors for the 2nd season in a row. They did it with Noah Clifton in Season 5 with the 6 car. The 6 car does it again, this time with Max Davis. Crampton ended up in 3rd. He could have ended up winning it if he had won the race, but wouldn't have been particularly likely anyway. And Brain Perez ended up getting an extra 20 points here tonight. So a very good performance by the 92, of course. And then, of course, the team's championship belongs to Gifford Technologies Incorporated. They had 3 cars in the top 10, and then Henry Guo, of course, finished 11th, so that is more than enough. They clinched the title by 12 points, give or take, over NS Racing. They were clearly the best 2 teams all year. Combined 18 wins between those 2. That's a 60% of the season. Remarkable campaign. Nicotech Racing, the reigning team's champion, couldn't back it up, but they did win the Drivers' Championship, and so I don't think Isaac Nichols will complain. DW Motorsports, for the first time ever, coming home without any kind of championships, any kind of silverware, which is very unusual for them, and what could well be their last hurrah. Seminole Motors end up dropping behind Pacific Racing. Seminole Motors, this could be their last hurrah. They're 2 of the long-standing teams in this series. It'd be sad if this is it for them. It's sad to see them go. If they do come back, then that'll be fantastic. But sad to see them go if that's the case. Of course, any team that does end up not returning. And shout out to Pacific as well, who end up jumping Seminole Motors there right at the end on the back of that win for Braden Perez. What a race. What a season it was. It was a lot of fun, and obviously, once again, a big thank you to you two. Got to go through a couple of thank yous here, of course. A big thank you, obviously, again, you two, obviously, on the call. And Isaac Nichols, who was the other voice that you would have heard throughout the season. He obviously hopped on for Charlotte and a lot of other races throughout the season. A big thank you to him. And his driver, he was very nervous about this, I can guarantee you. He will be ecstatic to see that Dawson Miller wins the championship here tonight. And, of course, a big thank you to everyone who participated. A big thank you to everyone who watched on a week-by-week basis. It was a lot of fun. Started out as a bit of a mock thing, and it ended up becoming a bit more of its own thing, like a proper interactive series, in a way. So, funny how that all works out. But it was a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to Season 7. And the sign-ups are tonight. The first phase of sign-ups begin tonight. In fact, they've started right now, as a matter of fact. So you two will be involved and obviously getting your drivers sorted for next season. Sign-ups will begin for those drivers who race this season, team owners that race this season, and then next week for everyone else who didn't race in Season 6, it will open Sunday the 17th of May at 7 p.m. Eastern. Of course, link in the description for the Discord server. You must be in the Discord server to sign up, and so it'll be a lot of fun. And then hopefully, come August, we'll have the Daytona 500 and the 7th season of the Cup Series underway. So congratulations to Brain Perez, second win of the season. He'll be one to watch in Season 7 of the Gratton Cup Series. And of course, congratulations to Dawson Miller in the number 48. He is the champion of the 6th season of the Gratton Cup Series. So for Nathan Stapleton and Matt Tuck, I'm Stuart Grant signing off from the Homestead-Miami Speedway, and we'll see everybody for sign-ups for Season 7. And of course, the North, they've got the new Smyrna Showdown in a few weeks, the 31st of May on Sunday night. We're looking forward to that one. So until then, we'll see you guys later. Congratulations once again to Brain Perez and Dawson Miller. We'll see everybody next time out at New Smyrna.